30
Let's see.
seconds.
Let's see this. Let's see this rebound by Hartenstein in travel.
30
Look,
seconds, Chris.
he took 2 steps and then passed it out to.
No, they let him go. Maxey fell. He didn't hear the whistle. He panicked. Tried to throw the ball away.
Game winner. Let's go. Oh, got him.
Maxey's gonna go
Got
for
it
it.
down.
Wow, what a block! And that's game.
Lou didn't know the rules either, but thank you, Lou.
Oh, you said 30 seconds. My fault. I thought you.
Thanks, Lou.
Hartenstein.
All right.
Hartenstein. Oh my God.
Well, at least it worked in your favor, my dog.
I did. I'm not mad. I want to see it though.
Why, Maxey's going up soft, dude. You need it.
Wow.
Maxey's been killing them with that though for all last game.
He showed the ball way too much.
Let me just say, okay. Look at Black Isaiah out there, okay? White Dante with the clutch 3.
Black Isaiah wilding right now.
Let's go.
It's funny. It's funny that Evan's barely watching the Hartenstein block, and Lou and I are watching these free throws go in. 104, 101, Evan.
Now I swear that. Yeah, good stuff, OG.
Wait, hold up. Yeah, dog. The game not.
No, I gotta swear that.
Oh, Joe, tell me that.
You did?
Nah, it's fine. You guys won.
Oh, okay. And you know, the emotions that just went.
Yeah, I know. You just had a hard time. He's 40 years old, Christian.
He's 40 years old. That's his used to.
McBride was cooking Philly last game is crazy.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3-on-3 podcast. I'm your guy Hans here with my main man Ev. What's going on, Ev?
If I were any better, it would be illegal.
Oh, this guy riding the high. Also joining me, my other main man, Lou. What it do, Lou?
He's loving harmony. It's a tough day for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Lou's here. As always, we have the Pod Mamba joining us in the background, coaching us up, making sure we are on point. Guys,
Lakers in 6.
All right, relax. Lakers going home in 4. Playoff basketball is here. It is here. The best time of the year. So many games and so little time. There's always something on. I'm excited. I know you guys are. We just got off opening weekend, and I'm interested to see what you guys' reaction is to not only the seeding, but who won their first games, and currently, as we're recording, who may have won or not current games. You know, we'll let people get their, jubilee off.
If you can guess who.
Right. And I don't want to point any fingers or elbows or anything like that to say any names, but the one who's cheesing, the one who's cheesing in the camera right now.
Just somebody who's saying no words and just in elation.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching basketball with you guys. Just want you to know.
Yeah, sure. Bet you did. All right, guys. Opening weekend jumped off to a great playoff setting. I, for one, was elated to sit down and watch hours of basketball and competitive basketball. Well, despite a couple games, but for the most part, competitive basketball. Although we did have some injuries to significant star players, I still see this playoff run being a great one. And I don't think that these injuries will diminish any of the games as far as the totality of the playoffs go from either coast. But let's start with opening weekend. I'll start with you, Ev. We had the opening weekend go smoothly, as smoother than expected, honestly. I am interested to see your top two games from the opening weekend. Now, Saturday and Sunday is what we're gonna talk about right now, Ev. Don't jump the gun too quick, Ev. Saturday and Sunday, Ev. Opening weekend, Ev.
Listen. I am a responsible podcaster. I can stick to the instructions that you are giving me, sir. So I can, man. I can.
Unless it's a list of top 5, you give a 7. But go ahead.
I'll try my best at least. Hey, listen, I'm glad you switched the question up because I had 3 ready for you if you would have said 1. So anywho, first game that impressed me, I gotta say, I was looking at that Timberwolves and Suns game, and specifically Anthony Edwards. I'll start with the team first. From a team defensive standpoint, holding Devin Booker to 18 points, holding Bradley Beal to 15 points. Coming into the series and how they looked, they played the last weekend of the series. It looked like that matchup would be tough for the Timberwolves. One, because Anthony Edwards just played terrible against them during the season. And the mid-range execution of the 3 superstars mixed with Grayson Allen, I felt like could be a good matchup against Minnesota because they're not looking to get to the rim to face Rudy Gobert. They're looking for mid-range shots, right? But at least through game 1, as Anthony Edwards was as good as advertised. Took it personally. After a solid first half, goes for 18 in the third quarter. Alone ends up with 33 for the game. Staring directly at Kevin Durant's face when knocking threes down in his face, taking it personal that they thought, oh, coming out of timeout, y'all gonna switch KD on me? I got something for you. So just that energy and that veracity that he came with, one, facing his in-season demons, and 2, just setting the tone for this series. Really look to remind why they were a number 1, number 2 seed up until the very last couple of days of the season, and here at least through one game saying, look, don't count us out yet. We are who we've showed you we are all season. So I really, really like that. Another one I'll just throw out quickly since you asked for 2. I'll say the Clippers without Kawhi. The way they played in game 1, they shut down everybody now named Luka and Kyrie, and even Luka himself didn't have that tremendous of a game. Paul George was cooking. James Harden was cooking. It's kind of funny watching them because it's like, you're going to get at least 1 or 2 games, a series in which James Harden reminds you of what he looks like when he's at his worst. For at least one game without Kawhi, for the Clippers to jump on the Mavericks next the way they did, a team that many are picking out that they're the betting favorite to win the series. Shout out to the Clippers as well for how they came out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What stood out to you, Lou? 2 games.
Okay, we're talking to Lou from we got Lou from Houston here.
You're muted, my guy.
Lou, where you at?
Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Driving down the highway.
Caller 3. Tell us what you're thinking, caller 3.
My service out here isn't too great, but to echo what you said, man. Look, that Minnesota game was the one for me. And realistically, it wasn't too surprising for me, though. I mean, look, we know the star power on the Sun side, but the Timberwolves proved why they're the number 1 defensive team in the league, and really brought it to Phoenix. And, yes, they didn't necessarily end as they wanted to, but and Anthony Edwards, it may not look as great, but as we've seen all season, Anthony Edwards plays hard night in, night out, regardless if the numbers show it. And for him to step up, we're starting to see like this next wave of what the stars will be in the league as he stares down, KD, kind of reminiscent of how when KD was staring down LeBron, hitting the shot in his face. So I feel like, KD's having a full circle moment right now. I mean, to be honest, man, I loved it. I know there's been a lot of hate on Rudy, but who scored more points, Rudy or Nurkic? You know what I mean? It's not you looking at when you go big man for big man. So Timberwolves came in and they handled business, and they did it in the fashion that they've been showing. Well, the greatness that we saw throughout the season. The other game that I kind of watched, I expected a little bit more from Orlando. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were gonna come in and give a little bit more fight. But Spider showed why he's Spider. And it was good to see, Cleveland just come in and show that they can handle business. We had questions about them during the seasons. They're showing they're surging, and then they seem to crumble at a critical point. And they came in and then cleaned up. So I expect that series to not last too long in itself.
Word, man. I agree with you guys. Baby Jordan, that's what I'm calling him now. Baby
Oh,
Jordan.
yeah? Baby
Jordan
88,
Edwards.
88?
Yeah.
88
yes,
Jordan?
Baby Jordan showed up, showed out. I appreciated his competitive nature, didn't back down from the challenge, and really just put it to the Suns and let them know this ain't the regular season. So I did appreciate that. But my two games are definitely going to be the Clippers, more so James Harden. To see him control the tempo, and you guys have heard me vent, and my biggest gripe is James Harden being lackadaisical with the offense. And I don't know if he was pacing himself or he finally decided to listen to Tyronn Lue and said, all right, you might know what you're doing since you do have a championship and I don't. But right out the gate, they were pacing, they were moving quickly. He was moving the ball expeditiously up the court and picking apart the pick and roll, getting Zubac involved early. He was really, really managing the game excellently from a point guard standard, and I appreciated that. And that to me was something that gave me hope, because at the end of the day, we can't count on Kawhi being there. That's just what it is. So for him to really just take control of the game and seize the moment, I appreciate that. Like Evan said, he does have games where he shows you his bad side as well. So I just wonder what we're going to see going down the rest of the series. But I love what I'm seeing, and I'm going against the odds, man. I think the Clippers are going to come out of this one. I really do, just because of what I saw with James Harden, and then Westbrook is back too, and he really brought the energy on the second team and kept the game going at a pace that made it difficult for the Dallas Mavs to really get it. As I've said, Kyrie and Luka, they're going to get theirs. They're just going to get theirs. But also, I'm sorry, but Zubac was just having his way down there. He was making them look real soft down there. It was just not looking good. My second one was, Dame Dollar coming out and letting you know, hey, listen, this is why you brought me here. And he said that. This is why you brought me here. All right? Gave you 35. He ain't need to score in the second half because it was over. Okay? That's just what it is.
We talked about this, man. Last time I saw you, we talked about this.
Listen, he assisted. He did what he did. He came out there and handled it. He said, this ain't the end season. This ain't the regular season. This the playoffs, son. All right? You know this thing he was doing right here? Remember that? I'm the real OG. All right? I'm the real OG. So I appreciated Milwaukee really coming out with a sense of urgency. And also, cats be forgetting, Middleton. 22, 23 points, giving you what he needs. At the end of the day, like I said, if Middleton is at least 80% himself, he doesn't need to be 100% because he's not going to need to carry the load like he did before. If he's giving you 20 plus right now and you got Giannis coming back, I'm sorry, but
and double-digit boards?
Yeah, the Bucks are going to be somebody you guys are going to have to fear, okay? The Knicks are going to have to look out for them, all right? I'm just saying, man. Or the Sixers. Who knows, right? So that's just that's just really my two games that really stood out. I don't know why you gave me that rock eyebrow.
What's up with that face, bro?
Let me just say two things. One, I'm a solid point guard when I want to be, okay? Because I knew you were going to take the Dame angle, so I just left it there for you, Okay,
You
I
threw me an
wanted
alley.
you
You threw me an
exactly,
alley. I
exactly.
appreciate it, man.
Not even the
And
alley, not even the alley. I just let you get to your spot,
let's
so
stop
you
it,
can
Appreciate
stop
score.
it, stop it.
Okay,
Neither
hold
of us
on.
were gonna take the Dame alley.
I
Come
saw
on,
it. No.
we
I
was gonna
saw
give it
it.
to our dear brother.
Exactly.
We
That's
knew
what
he
I'm
was gonna
saying.
get
That's
it.
what I'm
We
saying.
gonna
That's what I'm
cook, so
saying.
we let it.
And
Let it.
Appreciate y'all,
two,
man. That's why you guys. That's why we work well together, man. We're 3-on-3, man.
and just one more thing. Two, you're a hater. Y'all are haters. That's me. That's me pointing at both boxes. Y'all are haters. We'll discuss why in OT, but y'all are haters. Continue.
Listen, man. We're consistent. That's what we are.
You are
We're consistent.
Yes.
We're consistent. That's just what it is. All right, Lou. Concerns. Is there any concerns in the opening weekend? Whether it could be from a winning team or it could be from a losing team. It doesn't necessarily have to be a losing team, right? Are there any concerns that you're like, oh man, I didn't see this coming? What stood out to you?
I don't know if I have any words like I didn't see this coming. The concerns I necessarily have right now are um is Philadelphia. My concern has always been, is Embiid actually healthy enough? We've
Mhm.
seen him look like he tweaked his knee again in game one, and then he came back out. He played. I mean, they ultimately lost. It's always pins and needles watching him play. So that's the thing, is I'm not exactly sure, how honest the Sixers organization are really being, or even him himself being about his health. And we know without him at full strength, because he's going to need to be at full strength for them to beat the Knicks, they're dead in the water. So that's really my biggest concern that I'm watching right now.
This guy.
But yeah, is Embiid's health? Is he
You
really
look-
healthy? Because
You
look,
looked fine tonight.
game one. All I know is when I said game one, I said, yo, Knicks in 4. You know, uh, and
What do you say
I
now,
think
Lou?
I still
What
think
do you
I
say
stand
now?
on that. I think I
Okay.
stand on that. But I just don't know what Embiid, and I don't truly think that he's actually healthy enough for him to carry, to be able to carry the. I mean, don't get me wrong, his numbers he's still performing. But even if you watched his game, he still played from the free throw line up, right? He didn't really play
That first
down at
game, yeah.
all. Yeah, first game he played from the free throw line up. So it's like, okay, you're still playing gingerly. You really are not trying to bang. And, you have guys like Mitchell Robinson who were able to capitalize on that. You know what I mean? So if you're not really sitting there and actually doing what we're knowing, the full range of Embiid's game, both inside and outside, and making the defense work for that, I really don't see how. I mean, Maxi's been great and so on, but Knicks got too much firepower, man. They need the monster Embiid. They need the MVP, quote unquote MVP Embiid.
All right, Ev, one concern, sir.
You said that because I have 3. I almost was gonna let you go first so I could name my 3. I'll go along the angle that Lou said, and I'm glad you started this by saying it could be a team that won, because my concern, although we just talked about them as a positive, I'm actually gonna go with the Clippers, and here's why. Kawhi's hurt again. We don't know if he's in for game 2. Yeah, it looked good in game 1. They can't do this if they're not full strength. We've seen this story year after year after year. To get that Kawhi injury news before game 1 was disheartening. Now they said he's practicing today. He's a game time decision for game 2. So hopefully it's something minor and he's back and they're able to go full strength. But we've seen this story so many times that it's disappointing to me that there's even a chance they don't go through this at full strength, because we've seen them at their best this year. And I think they could actually contend and compete if they're full strength. So I'm going to go with them, kind of along the lines of what Lou was saying with Embiid.
100%. They can't win a chip without Kawhi. That's just it. The best they're gonna do without Kawhi is lose in the Western Conference Finals. That's just what it is. Here's my concern, and it's gonna be the segue to our short emphasis on short little random topic that I'm bringing up right now. And we're gonna let somebody cook for a second. My concern is this. The Knicks won game 2.
They did?
Yeah, the Knicks won
As we're
game 2.
recording.
Yes.
Here's my concern. Maxey, 35 points. Joel Embiid, 34 points. The next high is 10. You can't have that. That's my concern. You
My
can't have that.
my concern is the Knicks paying off the refs at the end. That's my concern.
I mean, listen, they took a page out of the Lakers book. I get it. Big market things. I'm not privy to that, right?
Did y'all hear
I'm not
something?
privy to that.
yeah, you heard
but-
me saying that Nick Nurse tried to call a timeout and the refs didn't want to give him that. That's crazy, you know? Then
That's
it's Maxey gets mauled and, swallow that whistle.
Where's
But-
his voice coming from? Put your face on it. Put your face on it if that's how you feel.
He said, "Say it with your chest, cut."
But as you can
I'm
tell,
saying it right now.
the Knicks won game 2 in spectacular fashion. Ev, what did you learn about this game 2 win?
I'm going to go in the direction that you just said. What I learned from game 2 is that Philadelphia cannot continue with this roster as currently constructed. Understand, we're playing with house money in New York, okay? Everything is good vibes. We get out this first round, it's good vibes. Push it as far as you want, okay? This is just a feel-good story. I'm not sitting there like we're going to win a championship or whatnot. Don't think we won't, but, I'm not sitting there with that.
If you want to push us,
Listen, yeah, exactly. But from a Philly
You're gonna give it,
standpoint,
we'll take it.
yeah, exactly. This was a team that was arguably at one point could have been looked at as the second best team in the East, right? You got the best Joel season from an offensive standpoint, over 36 games
Period.
that
Yeah.
you've ever gotten, right? But it's exactly what you said. If this team with Joel Embiid back can't get out of the first round, there's some major questions that need to be answered, right? Yes, you found Maxey. Maxey has blossomed. Definitely a feel-good story, right? Everybody outside of those two, listen, don't renew your lease, okay? Don't
renew your lease.
Don't renew your lease. You can't come back with this team if you can't get out of the first round. Heck, even if I'm gonna leave it at that. If you don't get out of the first round, you can't come back with this team. I'm sorry. So that's
So you had 5 players DNP, 5 DNPs. So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, man, something has to change. Something has to change. You bought Buddy here for a reason. You bought Batum here for a
Oubre.
reason. Oubre, like this is wild. It's
Say the
wild.
name you're not saying, okay? Tobias Harris. Listen,
I
great
mean,
guy.
I was gonna say
Great
trade
guy
Tobias.
by all accounts. No, he's a free agent. Great guy. By
Oh, let
all
him go, man.
accounts, okay,
Let him go.
This episode.
He's going
this
to Golden
chapter
State.
is
You
over.
heard it here first.
Tobias hasn't shown up when he needed to in the playoffs since he got to Philadelphia.
That's why you hear the Paul George rumors. They've got a 1, they've got a 2, and a bunch of 4.5s. And they need a
You're not lying. You're not lying. They do have a bunch of 4s.
Well, 4.5s and below. 4.5s and below. Yeah.
100%. 100%, man. That's But all right, man. Shout out to you, Ev. Congratulations to your team. I'm a hater, but on this series,
Listen, them
wanted them to be tied,
Nova Knicks. Them Nova Knicks are
Knicks.
coming to their old stomping ground. Okay, game 3. Let's go. Let's pull the Wildcat paraphernalia out. All right. Let's fill the stadium.
Hey, man. Well, speaking of Joel Embiid, man, him and Kawhi were given jerseys to be a part of Team USA. And of course, some people have some issue with that because of their injury-prone seasons and felt like there were other candidates. Also, I forgot his name, but some were questioning Joel's national allegiances for choosing to play with the USA in general. So I want to start off with you, Lou. Do you think that Joel or Kawhi were deserving of those positions? And if not, what's the alternative?
Well, I think for the things that we named before, with Joel Embiid having come off being MVP, secondly, the greatest season that he had thus far, and then looking at the last international play, bit of play that the U.S. has had. Yes, extending it out to him, whether him deciding to play with the U.S. or not, I mean, I'll leave that up to him. And we've seen international players in other sports do that. But if whether in terms of if he's deserving based on paper, for sure. Him and Kawhi, the biggest thing that I see with them two, especially with them accepting this, this opportunity, is because in 4 years they likely won't be in the league to play again. They probably won't have this opportunity again. So, real talk. Kawhi will be 40. Embiid will be pushing 35. I don't see either of them being in the league at that time or even to be at a caliber, if they are in the league, to be at a caliber for them to be called up for the Olympics. So them taking the opportunity now to get that notch under their belt, no issue on my end. Their teams and their fans have to mention a whole nother conversation. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they want to chip. But for their own personal jacket to go out there and compete for gold, especially with Kawhi being a born American, I can't knock them for wanting to have that opportunity.
Ev, as a Joel Embiid fan, man, you rocking with your boy? What's good, man?
Let me say a couple things real quick. Listen, Pie Mamba, if you need to delete this whole thing, I'm sorry, I'm putting it in the middle, okay? But how dare the French question this African man for where he wants to play basketball, okay? Like, who are y'all? Who are y'all, man? Get out of here, okay?
Listen, man.
Get
As
away
a Haitian, you're not going to get any rebuttal from me.
Absolutely. All right. If
no rebuttal here, sir.
If that Cameroonian man wants to play for the USA, All right. Anywho,
I feel him. If Cameroon not playing, what am I playing them for y'all for?
Absolutely.
Right.
So, MB, Kawhi, understand why they're on the team. One, the international game isn't kind to the small guard. Let's be honest. Even Chris Paul had his struggles in international basketball. So I understand the length and the versatility. I mean, you look at the roster, they got Steph, they got Halliburton, and they got Drew Holiday. So what, 2.5 point guards? That's really all you need. The rest get your ball, the versatile talent that can go, both ways on the court.
Who's the half point guard?
Drew Holiday. He's a shooting guard / point guard. So, that's
Steph.
But
Right.
I knew it.
I knew that coming, bro. I knew as soon as you said 2.5. Here we go.
All right.
So you meant Steph, right?
You got a point guard and 2 half point guards. We'll go with that. But I mean, it's Steph's clearly going to be the point guard, the starting point guard on this roster. Excuse me, y'all. The biggest concern, like you stated, is more so the health. Will either of them make it to the Paris Olympics to play? Now, Joel. Sorry, I'm not being professional. We'll probably send him home here in the next week or so. He'll have plenty of time to recuperate. Yeah, to rest.
Wow.
But Kawhi, if the Clippers looking for a long run, watching. Listen, they'll both be well. Our center position is straight, okay, this summer in Paris. Kawhi, though, will he make it to Paris? No, that's just facts. Will he make it? Will he make it is the question. So that's where I have the biggest question is from a health standpoint on those two. But I like the additions. Listen, as soon as Embiid got that USA citizenship with the season he was having at the beginning of the season, they put that full court press on him. Like, listen, we need this unstoppable force with us and not anywhere else. So I totally get it.
Yeah, I for one think they're with injuries, still deserving of the spot, just for what they've done. At the end of the day, international players increasingly more competitive. Matter of fact, they pointed it out. The MVP finalists, the 3 finalists, are all international. The top 3 best players in the league are all international. That should let you know something.
Serbia, one.
Right. So at the end of the day, you want to put your best foot forward. So I'm okay with both of them. And given the shape up of the roster, Kawhi won't get much run. I don't see him getting much run. Joel is the one that No, I don't think he'll get too much run. I think here's why. I think LeBron is going to step up because it's his last international show, et cetera, et cetera. He'll do what he needs to do. I think Kawhi's just gonna. He doesn't care. He's gonna skate, do his thing. Joel is the one. If I am worried, that's the one. Just because wear and tear on him and the makeup of his body, and it's just not kind. So, and he's coming off a series that's really tough with the Knicks. It's not a anyway, it's not going to be a fast-paced series. It's a grinded out series. So that's additional wear and tear. Anyway,
Hey,
I've
look,
seen
man.
2 more games, man.
If,
I'm let you have it.
if he goes home in 2 games, right, him and AD, they'll have plenty of time to rest.
That's all
You're
right.
right.
That's
Plenty of time to
So
rest.
I don't. I'm not worried about it, but they're very much so deserving of it. And shout out to them. And like Lou said, honestly, it's every 4 years, bro. So you got to give it to the guys that are deserving and put your best foot out there because international play, we can't be embarrassed. You can't be embarrassed as a country. Like you just can't do it. Even though I think the U.S. has won the last 5, right? If I'm not mistaken, the last 4 or 5 Olympics. So you want to keep that going. You want that to continue to be your banner and your mainstay. And so I know Adam Silver wants everybody who's capable and who's willing and who's gonna assure us a victory to be on that court. So that's why he did that. So speaking of Adam, he put
Sorry,
down
Jack.
his
Never mind. Go ahead.
he put his foot down, and he has banned Jontay Porter from the league because of his gambling. Now, I know, what was it, 2 episodes ago? We discussed the gambling and the impact that it would have in this league. And in universal fashion, whenever we discuss something, right after we're done recording, breaking news happens, right? That's just what happens here on this episode.
That's what we do. We break news before it breaks.
That's what it is, man. We create change in the universe, right? So he has been banned from the league, and I, for one, am not shocked by it. I, for one, am concerned as to what this ban will lead to as far as policymaking in the future. But I wanted to get you guys' take on the punishment, whether you thought it was fair or not, and what do you think this implies to betting moving forward? I'll start with you, Ev. So are you okay with the banishment from the league?
Absolutely. It had to happen for a couple of reasons. One, to set the precedent. We all know one of the most famous lifetime bans is Pete Rose in baseball. He was betting on his games as well. When you find out that a player is not only betting on himself, but intentionally fake injuries, pulling himself out of games early and whatnot. I mean, that's egregiously impacting the integrity of the game. With all of the legalization of gambling, the accessibility to gambling, these sports leagues, I'm sure one of their biggest concerns is that their young athletes with a ton of money in their pockets are looking for ways to flip the money in their pockets by making risky/foolish decisions, such as what Jontay Porter was doing. So Adam Silver had to come down, put his foot down on this situation and make it very clear, if you do this, you will never play in our league again. It helps that he was a fringe player at best, so that
Yeah.
you can make this done, make this decision, make it strong, and then it goes away, so that you don't have a next time when you have a rising player, a budding all-star, a seasoned veteran, whatnot, making the same mistake. And now you have to live with that headline of somebody of that stature that you're having to kick out forever. So it's much easier to make this decision with Jontay Porter, not agonize over the decision because of who you'd be losing in the process, and make sure that the precedent is made that it doesn't happen again.
That's true. Definitely.
You know, here's where I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, Ed. Because I don't think if it was twofold. One, if it was a guy, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody would even give that vibe. Let's say Bam Adebayo betting on his game, like, or even if it was a budding star, a veteran, or someone, I don't think these guys would even risk it because what for? Anthony Edwards, what for? I'm already getting paid. You know, there is no upside to me, really even dabbling into it because I already know I have too much to lose in the first place. I'm already getting more than I would gain from the gambling side. And quiet is kept if we want to bring up old scandals, older rumblings of this type of stuff, when our dear brother Stern was still alive with Jordan. All right, you have a guy of Jordan caliber. You think they're actually going to let that come out with somebody who might have been gambling on themselves? No. The NBA is going to, at the end of the day, protect themselves as an organization. So if that means we have to sweep it under the rug or find a way to manipulate this because it's somebody who really has an impact on the visibility of our league, then yeah, I think that the decision may have been different. Where I do agree with you is a guy, a French player like Jonte does make it easy for you to come down hard on him, make a stance, and then, I'm sure the next collective bargaining, negotiations, there's going to be some things definitely put in place so that players, that in their contracts know that there's some things that they can't do and eliminate any type of gray area. They already have kind of given them some leeway with what they're able to represent, they're able to have in terms of partnership and businesses with these FanDuels and other sports books. It's just a matter of, at the end of the day, is you can't put yourself or put the league at jeopardy betting on yourself.
Yeah, what I will say is, Luke kind of set me up for this one, is that what the NBA has going for itself is the guaranteed contracts. So unlike the NFL where, your contracts aren't guaranteed, I feel like the temptation, if you were in that situation, would be greater, right? Where you don't know if you're going to get those ends or not, if you're going to get paid to the full extent of your contract or not. It's a lot more tempting, I would say, to get lost or, make that mistake. Whereas I think the NBA, in regards to that, is kind of good with its star players. But let's also look at the other side of it too. Gambling is an addiction, right? It is a vice. So if that is necessarily your struggle, regardless of whether you're making bank or not, the temptation is still there, right? So, and we know Jordan, it hasn't been proved or not whether he gambled on the game, but other stuff, he, loved to gamble and take chances. That's his thing. So I do appreciate Adam Silver making an example out of Jonte. I do think, like Lou said, there will be more precedent in writing, stating what you can and cannot do explicitly. It's just a tough time for Porter, man, for Porter Jr. So definitely some family issues going on there because another one of his brothers was locked up for, was it a car?
Vehicular manslaughter.
Yeah.
Manslaughter.
So
yeah, for drunk driving and killing somebody and seriously injuring.
And leaving the scene. Didn't he leave the scene? Did he leave the scene?
Oh, I can't remember. Sure. I didn't read that part, but if he did, that's even worse.
But tough time for him, man. Tough time for him.
You bring up Michael Porter. Well, you bring up two things I just want to say real quick. You bring up Michael Porter Jr., and you don't have to answer this. I don't have an answer for it, but it does make me think, did it put Jonte Porter in the space where he could either A, feel he could be more risky, or two, have added pressure financially versus where his contract currently is because he has a brother that's making $100+ million on his contract. I wonder if that played into his mindset at all. Either way, incredibly stupid. So I feel you with the contracts, Lou, but I don't put it past any 20-year-older to make risky decisions like that. But
see, Oh,
Go
my
ahead, go
fault.
ahead. No, I was
No,
just
I'm
gonna say
saying,
I'm curious from the NFL standpoint though, why they have a number of players that get banned for like for a year, in the last year or so, for gambling. But and I don't know the particulars of is it because they didn't gamble on themselves or whatnot, but I do find it interesting that the NFL's handling of gambling does seem more lenient when juxtaposed to the other sports. So
I mean, I
it's
think Hans hit the
fascinating.
nail on the head with that part. We're like, okay, we can understand. Yo, look at the difference in the number of people on the roster. You know, the NFL, that football is a next man up type of sport. So if you go down and somebody else performs you out of here, you know what I mean? You're looking at a 12-man roster in the NBA. There's at least hope. Look, we still are holding on to Lonzo, okay? So there's hope for some of these other guys when it comes to their ability to come back and still be part of the roster and at least have some opportunity to get some burn and get some money, so if not one team to another. So, yeah, I mean, realistically, yeah, you know, somebody like Jonte, again, you bring up a great point. My brother's playing, you know, maybe I can take this risk. I know I'm not, but I promise you this, somebody like Seth wouldn't do that because Seth was somebody who was seen at some point as a viable player, somebody who could be a viable part of a roster. So, you know, again, when you have a lot more to lose, I think, yes, I understand. Yeah, if your vice is a vice. It doesn't matter how much you have to lose. We've seen a lot of people throw it all away because of that. No matter the stature of the player or the person. So, but I definitely think that what Hans mentioned definitely has some aspect to it, and also you as well. And him having his brother who was really the breadwinner, because in reverse, couldn't see Michael Porter Jr. doing it.
Yeah, that's facts. And just to kind of clarify, he did not flee the scene. I was thinking about the NFL player who
Oh,
got in the crash and left.
mhm.
No, he didn't. He was just driving under the influence, and his blood alcohol level was more than 2 times the legal limit.
Yeah,
And
0.19. I think it's 0.08
yeah,
was the limit.
yeah, 0.19. And unfortunately, someone passed away. So that's that's tough. That's tough. So yeah, man, that's wild. But I think that moving forward for the betting side of things, though, I think moving forward, we're going to see a lot more stricter documentation and rules as far as what players can and cannot do. We're here at the end of the season, and finalists for the awards were listed. The top 3 finalists were listed for each award category, and there were some surprises in there. And some people were left out. You know, some people ain't make the cut, and some people were right where we expected them to be. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up the show talking about our finalists with the awards. I'll start with the MVP. Shea, Luka, and Joker. Top 3 finalists. Surprises, shocks. No.
Lucas surged late. I'm not gonna lie, surged late, but I didn't.
You
So,
think he
but
surged late? He was always in the running.
but now, do we agree if he should have been in the running or not? There's a whole nother conversation. I think he surged late.
I think that run they went on when they went like 9-1, 11 out of
Oh, okay, I get
14
it.
there.
Made him from top 5 to top 3.
Exactly.
And then Giannis had, I mean, the injury at the end, and then just the lull from the team, the perception of, they basically went 500 after they fired their coach. Although Giannis had an incredible offensive season, I think, that narrative part plays a role in it as well. It was hard for him to be
Even
considered
Embiid
as a
falling off of
finalist.
it. Yeah.
Embiid falling off,
Yeah.
Brunson, the lack of respect, just different reasons and
Wow,
whatnot.
wow.
But I mean,
The lack of
whatever.
respect.
Had
Whatever.
Brunson been the guy the entire season,
Whatever we want
I
to
would
talk
agree
about,
with you.
But I mean, as far as the 3, I mean, that's it's hard to not see it going to Jokic. It is more so a standpoint of just when you watch the game. I mean,
Mhm.
his stats only tell part of the story. He controls the entirety of the game, right? In the offense in a way that really no other player does in the league. Like Luka, yes, he has the ball a lot, right? And he is the offense a lot, but Joker maestros the entire ecosystem of the Denver Nuggets in a way that I don't want to say I've never seen, but I've rarely seen from another player to do it from the center position, to have the ability to do all that. Then at the then when needed, boom, let me get in the post and dominate your center. And for a few minutes, just because I can do that too.
Just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, just to mix it. It's a cheat code.
I ain't scoring it in 4
code.
minutes. It's cool. I got you.
I got you. Boom, you're on my back. You lost already. It's impressive. It's impressive.
Yeah.
It is truly art. It's
Poetry in motion, as they say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really is. It really is. It's yeah.
Don't get me wrong. My guy's right behind him. Okay. Remember my picks. There's still hope.
Man.
I'm in there too. I had Luka for my MVP, so I'm still
not gonna
here.
lie, bro. Like, hold up. Who you have?
Listen, I had Steph, man. He's home already. The way it could have went, it didn't go, and it's all good. But listen, we knew who Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was coming into the season, but you affectionately introduced us to Shai Gilly, so I got to give you full props for that.
He gets it.
He's gonna get snubbed. He's gonna get snubbed.
It's
who?
He's going
Shai? No, I think he's winning it. He's winning it because Joker is going to be the fatigue.
Okay.
Luka, the team didn't win enough.
No. Yeah, no, I'm just looking between him and because he's I'll let you go through the rest of the award because he shows up again, but it's all good.
If Shai gets the MVP award, does that Clipper trade look even worse?
Oh, you just want to hate on the Clippers.
Any
opportunity to hate on the Clippers, bro.
Well, no, that's a fair question. That's a fair question.
It's not a fair question. It's not a fair question.
It's not going to look worse.
It's like asking about the Blazers.
It already looks terrible. There's like sprinkles on top of the sundae if he gets the MVP.
No, that's not a fair question because that's like asking about the OKC and Harden. And letting Harden go. Like you can see, but you can't see that far into the future. Like they didn't see Shai was going to be that type of player, man.
That's the risk of trades.
It's a little, but it's also
right. But you guys make it seem like they said, hey, here's our MVP caliber player. We're going to trade him away. That's
I'm only speaking in hindsight terms because what we know, what we know now. The Clippers haven't won anything with that trade. They thought they were going to win multiple championships, and they let go of a player that ended up becoming the MVP of the league.
Okay, let me ask you this. How many times did the Clippers make the playoffs since that trade versus OKC? This is OKC's first time making the playoffs since Westbrook. So
we're giving awards for playoff appearances now?
We're talking about progression, right? So I'm agreeing with you in hindsight as far as quality of player, one could say. Because Shai Gilly's on the way up, PG's on his way down, right? One could definitely say OKC 100% won that out. But if we're talking about like the better team, OKC is just now becoming the better team. After initially when the trade was happening, OKC wasn't making the playoffs. The Clippers made the playoffs instantly.
They made it in 20, but I feel you.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. That's 5 years ago that trade was made.
Yep.
It's going to look even worse. It's going to look even worse when Paul George goes to the Sixers this offseason.
And we don't got to go through all of the awards. Some of them are self-explanatory, like Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama, who's also in another category of Defensive Player of the Year.
Talk to him.
So, two guys.
Hey.
I appreciate those two guys that have made appearances in 2 awards. Shout out to them.
I'm just saying, man. Chet ain't doing that. I'm just saying.
Chet's an NBA Rookie of the Year as well. But listen, no. Listen.
But Chet's in the playoffs right now, so
Chet is...
He's a seasoned vet. He doesn't count.
Listen,
you're not wrong.
Wemby had a transcendent season. He was...
With Pop holding him back.
I would say at least as good as advertised, if not better. And the only reason I say it's good is because when you get lauded as the best prospect since LeBron James, I mean, it's hard to say better than, when you've been called the best prospect since LeBron. I mean, clearly more deserving of being in the Defensive Player of the Year than other people who didn't make it there. So, I mean, he checked all the boxes and then some for this season. So no hate on Wemby from me. I look forward to seeing what's to come from him.
The Sham God at 7'4"? In the post to a spin.
That Sham guy was kind of weak. That was a slow motion.
Into the spin move. He's a 7'4". How long do you think it takes for the ball to hit the ground?
That's true. I get it, but come on.
You wanted a tighter Sham God from a 7'8" guy.
If you're gonna, I'm just saying, I went and got some chips while he was Sham God, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
what it is.
There hasn't been a better Sham God. There hasn't been a better Sham God since Thanasis did it. The tightest Sham God I've ever seen in my life.
Since he discovered the Sham God.
Listen,
I'm going on mute, yo.
In those origin stories when they discover their powers, how he looked that way. He's like, I can do this. Discover his powers, man. Let that man live, Lou. Let that man live.
He's been practicing that since he was 12. He finally got it off.
2 seconds a game. Let him get his Sham God off, bro. Okay.
But the narcissist of there's literally, and I couldn't open it because I was recording, but I got other groups of people that set the narcissist viral nonsense video already. The amount of the narcissist coverage that comes through my phone for antics that he's pulled, like he's got more footage than he's got minutes played, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I will say this, and we will move on very quickly because we've given him way too much time. Shame on you, Giannis. If y'all never win again, I will not be mad, because shame on you for expecting an executive at Adidas who's financially responsible for them to sit there and give your brother a shoe deal. You expected them to give him a shoe deal. The only shoes they should have made were clown shoes for him. Move on.
Wow. Strongly put, sir. Let's talk about a category that, Lou, I know you'll love for us to discuss. Most improved player category. The finalists. Lou got two of his favorite players on there. We got Tyrese Maxey from the Philadelphia 76ers. We got Alperen Sengun from the Houston Rockets. And last but not least, North Carolina's own Kobe White.
Let's go.
I ain't got to ask you, Lou, who you think is most improved.
Lou's got two boys. He's got two boys.
That's what I'm saying, Lou. Who you going with, son? Who you rocking with, y'all?
Cam Thomas snub.
Wow.
No. So he should have been in there last year, but his team hates him. So the one thing I will say is, no, I got both my guys in there, and who I would love a Bull to win. And if Sengun would win, that would be amazing. But I think, unfortunately, both will lose to Maxey just because of, how the Sixers are doing. Do I think Maxey is necessarily his game has jumped as significantly as the other two? No, maybe on par with Sengun. I think Kobe has the most jump. But I just think by the nature of how their teams play, Maxey will get it.
I agree with that. Although, like you said, what's the criteria for the award? Because Maxey was showing that he was this capable last season. Kobe White had the largest jump in points per game of any player in the league, and Sengun, although he showed traces of this, he went from looking like, wow, that was a nice steal of a draft pick, to looking like baby Sabonis, baby Joker over the span of a year. So that's two very compelling cases. But I mean, listen, you got your boy DeRozan in there as well, man, for clutch player of the year, man.
Clutch player of the year, man. He's
Shout
in
your
there.
Bulls out, man. Come on, man. And
Yeah,
end of
man.
your superlatives for your guys, man. Let's talk about
You know
it
what?
one more
Because
time.
I'm a Bull fan, I'm a ride with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm interested with I I unfortunately think, my boy will get snubbed and then he'll end up with this award. Uh, and that being said, Gilly, he'll get snubbed for MVP and then end up with Clutch Player of the Year.
Couldn't have
That's a
been that
consolation.
clutch if the Bulls didn't even make the playoffs.
Wow.
Did you listen to what I said?
Wow.
He was actually pretty
Sometimes-
clutch. You know how many game winners he has this year?
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I like DeMar a lot.
He's
He's one of the few players I like actually enjoy watching play because he actually
he's
has a
from
midi.
Compton.
I was
He's
about
got
to
a
say,
midi.
bro,
No, he's got that
Is he
midi.
from-
He's fucking is on point, man.
it's mid range.
We got breaking news from Tim Bontemps.
Do we?
Bontemps, actually in French.
Do
The
it.
76ers are planning to file a grievance with the NBA over the officiating across the first two games of this series. Team spokesman tells ESPN.
I need an investigation
Yeah.
against the Knicks.
Guess what? The grievances ain't gonna bring them wins back.
It's not going to do nothing. It is
You
what it
didn't
is,
show
man.
up. If you didn't show up for playoff basketball, just say you didn't show up for playoff basketball. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
man. You're
Just
such
saying.
a homer, man. You're such a homer.
Listen. There were three. All right, so recording this
So-
on Monday after the Knicks won.
We
in
could
epic
get into it
fashion.
on OT, Evan. We could get into OT. We need to
But
I'm
finish.
just-
we're agreeing that we're
man.
officiating inconsistencies. We're agreeing to that. They're officiating inconsistencies. We'll go there.
I've been cut off by the producer. No,
That's
Knicks
fine. That's
talk
fine. We
right
wrapping up. We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap it up.
We think
Last-
it's 6 man.
Last thing I'll say before we wrap up, and we're gonna ride this one into OT. Defensive Player of the Year: Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert, and Victor
Wow, wow,
Wembanyama
wow.
are the finalists.
We're doing this now. I
And
thought we were gonna do
some-
6 man.
Huh?
I thought we were gonna do 6 man right now.
No. I just wanted to point that out. I thought we were skipping over 6 man. You wanted to talk about 6 man? I think
Yeah,
it's
let's
clear.
finish up. Let's finish up with 6 man right now.
No, I think
Okay.
we all know who 6 man is. I think we all
Yeah,
know.
you want to? Okay, 6 man. We got Malik Monk, Bobby Portis, or Naz Reid. All right, Malik Monk.
There we
All
go.
right.
Could stop there.
Anybody? There's no objections there. No.
Before we go, here's a good one though. Coach of the Year. You got Mark Daigneault from OKC, Chris Finch from the Timberwolves, and Jamal Mosley from the Magic.
I think Daigneault is pretty clear.
Yeah, I think OKC is going to get that.
I'd make a case with the Magic coach because
I was
they
gonna
went
say,
from
No, I think
bottom
there could
feeders.
be. No, here's my issue with that. They started off hot. I mean, well, actually, no. They started bottom. They showed flashes of being hot, then they went right back down to where we thought they would be. That's it.
I say no. I say it's got to be OKC
OKC has been consistent the entire season.
throughout year.
Period.
If not OKC,
You have a
then
player that's an
Finch
MVP
for the
contention.
Timberwolves.
I guess just from the standpoint that OKC was a trendy pick to improve coming into this season from the way they ended last season, and the Magic, there was still talk of them still being a lottery team, not making the playoffs, playing at best. So to be solidly in the race for a top four seed throughout most of the season, with
I guess
the
biggest
Daigneault probably
jump-
would win it. But
I guess biggest jump. I'll say that, right? Biggest
Yeah,
jump.
agreed.
I would say that,
Agreed.
but also it's like
Coaching, you're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be in a peak and valley situation. Great coaching means we
Yeah, and
come
then
in
also-
and do our job the entire season.
I think about it like football, right? The conference or division you're in, it matters. So being consistent in the West is a lot different than being consistent in the East and top, right? So that's my only hiccup with it. Like OKC has been gunning for that one seed and has been right there within a game or two throughout the whole season, whereas Boston ran away with that. The Magic, the best they got was 3. right? And then one can argue with the injuries to Randall and Embiid, and the turbulence in the Bucks that kind of aided them as well. So that's my only kind of gripe with it. But we can discuss it further in OT, guys. As always, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. If you want to hear some more discussion about the in-season awards and Ev lauding over his Knicks fluke win, check us over on YouTube, man. Our overtime segment. We'll be glad to discuss it there. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Grievances.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up. If you really, really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you can keep up with us every week. Be sure to follow us on all our socials at the 3on3 Podcast. Hey, got a question, topic you want us to talk about? Hit us up on our email at 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate y'all. Tune in next week.